Most finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that.
They need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
In Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way, because some brands get real creative when it comes to made in.
So Hermes has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere in France.
Welcome back to Juicy Pulse, your daily dose of scandal and glamour. Let's spill the tea on today's biggest celebrity stories. Hermès is officially losing it. The luxury giant just slammed lawsuits against the same Chinese factories that exposed their billion-dollar secrets, and the whole fashion world is flipping out. These factories weren't just pumping out fakes, they were the real deal, actually making those iconic Birkins and Kellys that Hermès sells for $20,000 a pop. And now, they're airing everything out, from shady backdoor moves to shocking insider proof, and even viral TikToks that have everyone talking. This mess is tearing down the whole luxury fantasy, and Hermès is scrambling like crazy to clean it up. But it's too late. The truth is out, and the cracks are showing. So let's dive right into the biggest lie they sold us. For years, Hermès pushed this perfect image of handcrafted bags made by proud French artisans in dreamy Parisian workshops. You'd picture some chic person in a crisp white coat, hand-stitching leather by candlelight, with smooth jazz floating through the air. Right? Wrong! They were just slapping on the final touches while the real work was happening elsewhere. Insiders and hard receipts from Tanner Leatherstein just dropped a bomb. Turns out, up to 80% of those so-called French luxury bags are actually built in China, not just parts, the whole thing. We're talking the leather cutting, stitching, threading, all done overseas. Then Hermès swoops in, adds a button or stamps made in France on it, and boom, it's suddenly luxury. That's the sneaky little trick they've been pulling. So when Chinese factories started spilling the tea and backing it up with proof, Hermès absolutely lost their minds. That's where Tanner Leatherstein steps in, the whistleblower of luxury. And no, he ain't just some random guy posting for clout. He's a legit leather expert with a loyal fan base. This dude buys designer bags, slices them open on camera, and exposes the real dirt inside. He's the same guy who first blew up Chanel for faking real gold hardware and Dior for sneaking in cheap plastic-coated leather. Madness. Tanner didn't stop there. He went full beast mode on Louis Vuitton, Bottega Veneta, and of course, Hermès. He straight up showed that the leather quality in those $1,000 bags is no better than what you'd get from a $100 knockoff. Wild, right? And it gets even crazier. He exposed that the real cost to make a Birkin bag is about $600. Not $14,000, not $38,000, just $600. And that's using legit leather and proper metal hardware too. Now picture Hermès sitting back, watching these videos blow up, realizing the mask is slipping and the secret's out. Total nightmare. Because here's the real kicker. The Chinese manufacturers weren't just making cheap knockoffs. They were making the real bags for Hermès. They were building about 80% of the product in China, while Hermès just slapped on some finishing touches in France and then sold the fantasy of pure French craftsmanship, all while cashing in huge and hiding the truth. So what does Hermès do? Do they come clean? Apologize? Not a chance. Instead, they go straight for the lawsuits. Yup, Hermès is suing multiple Chinese factories, claiming misuse of intellectual property and defamation, basically screaming, "How dare you tell the world our bags aren't fully made in France?" And the irony? These same factories were working legally under contracts with Hermès and other luxury brands. Now that the truth's out, Hermès is acting brand new, pretending they don't even know these factories existed. Unbelievable. Let's break it down. Hermès pulled in a jaw-dropping $15.2 billion in revenue in 2024. That's millions of bags flying off the shelves. And if it really takes 2 full days to craft just one Birkin by hand, where's this magical army of French workers making all of them? The math just ain't mathing. It's screaming fraud vibes. And Hermès isn't the only one playing dirty. Big names like Prada, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton are running the same shady playbook. They'll build 98% of the product in China, then slap on a tiny zipper or button made in Italy, just so they can legally tag it made in Italy. Total marketing scam. A slick con job, and people have been eating it up because of that fake prestige. But now that more people are waking up, resale prices are starting to slide. Folks are realizing they dropped $25,000 on a bag that came out of the same factory as a $400 dupe. Total madness. Thanks to Tanner, more dirty secrets are spilling. He's shown that bags claiming to be made from fancy calfskin are actually using cheap, plastic-coated leather. It's making hardcore collectors sweat and new buyers straight up furious. Because if Hermes ain't really about elite quality or handcrafted magic, then what were people actually paying for? Just a brand fantasy. The cold truth is, the whole Western luxury game sold us this big lie that China equals low quality. But that old-school mindset is falling apart fast. Chinese factories today are cranking out world-class leather goods. They've got the top-tier materials, the skills, the high-end machines, everything. Truth is, a lot of luxury brands are making their stuff in the same factories as mid-range brands and even knockoffs. The only real difference? A fancy little tag stitched on at the end. That's it. So when someone tries to clown a bag for being made in China, don't get it twisted. It might actually be better than the so-called luxury pieces made in France. There are tons of stories about people getting their hands on factory extras, bags without logos. And guess what? They're identical to the $1,000 versions. One creator even said she scored UGG boots straight from the same factory as the real deal, for just $5. No logo, same boot, the only thing missing, branding. Western media has been brainwashing people for years, selling the lie that China equals bad and Europe equals top tier. But when you look closer, it's all a big marketing hustle. These brands are private equity beasts, just churning out overpriced goods for people who don't know any better. And now that the mask is slipping, the industry's freaking out. And shout out to Tanner Leatherstein. He's not working for any brand. He's not selling you some fancy dream. He's just showing the raw truth. He even cut open his own $1,800 wallet collection to expose what's inside. And what he found? Straight up disappointment every single time. Let's keep it real for a second. Just a millisecond. These designer brands wouldn't be running the game without celebrities flashing their bags like trophies. You really think they're out here buying Birkins and Chanels just for fun? Nah, most of the time, they're either gifted the bags or straight up paid to show them off. It's all part of the game called strategic placement. The brand slides Cardi B a $60,000 bag, she posts it on Instagram, and next thing you know, every influencer and wannabe fashionista is losing their mind trying to snag one. You think you're buying luxury, but really? You're just buying celebrity approval. And don't even forget when Kylie Jenner gave that wild Hermes closet tour. People lost it, went absolutely crazy. But seriously, how many of those bags do you think were actually bought with her own cash? And even if they were they truly made in France or stitched up in a quiet back room somewhere in Shenzhen? Makes you think. And it's not just celebs anymore either. Influencers are knee-deep in the hustle now too, pushing the same fantasy like it's gospel. TikTok and Instagram are flooded with unboxing videos showing off crazy luxury hauls. But here's the real tea. Most of those bags are either PR drops or part of brand deals. These creators are making serious stacks hyping up bags they never even paid for, all while pushing the idea that you need a designer bag just to feel like somebody. Meanwhile, the brands are sitting back, laughing straight to the bank, flipping $600 bags for $26,000 just because you saw it pop off on your FYP. Wild, right? But let's get into this whole Birkin trap. Somewhere along the line, owning a Birkin turned into the ultimate flex, the top-tier status symbol everyone chased. But here's the kicker. Hermes doesn't just let anyone stroll in and snag one. Nope. You can't just walk in and grab it off a shelf like a regular purse. You gotta earn it, which means spending thousands on scarves, belts, and other random stuff just for them to maybe offer you a Birkin. That's not luxury. That's straight-up luxury cult behavior, and people are lining up ready to throw their wallets at it. And let's not even get started on the resale market. A few years back, folks were flipping Birkins like they were flipping prime real estate. But now, after Tanner's brutal expose and the factory leaks, prices are dipping, and dipping fast. If the so-called exclusivity is fake, the craftsmanship is crushable, and the bags are coming from the same factories as the dupes, why would anyone still pay full price? People are panicking. Resellers are sweating bullets. And investors are waking up, realizing these luxury bags might not be the gold mine they once bragged about. One seller even spilled the tea while trying to move a Birkin 30 in gris éton. That's the gray color with palladium hardware, by the way. The bag's in box-fresh condition, barely touched, but it's an amp piece, meaning it's from 2021. And even that is making buyers hesitate now. And here's where it gets real messy. Turns out, a lot of celebs and influencers aren't even rocking real bags half the time. They're flexing with dupes and still tagging the real brands like it's nothing. Why? To stay on trend without blowing crazy money. Some insiders even claim stylists will straight up buy fakes, tag the luxury brands for clout, and still get VIP invites to Fashion Week. It's wild out here. The whole system rewards the illusion, not the authenticity. So next time you see your favorite celeb flashing that shiny luxury bag, don't automatically believe it's real. And don't think they even care if it is, because at the end of the day, it's not about the bag, it's about the branding. So who's really winning here? The brands? They're still cashing massive checks. The celebs? They're raking in deals and free gifts. The influencers? They're drowning in PR boxes and backstage passes. And you, the customer? You're the one getting played. And now, the backlash is just getting started. More buyers are questioning everything, from the so-called heritage brands brag about to the real value behind that hefty price tag. Forums are lighting up, TikToks are going viral, and receipts are being dropped left and right. People aren't just mad, they're livid that they spent thousands chasing a dream that turned out to be smoke and mirrors. Luxury brands are scrambling behind the scenes, pushing new marketing campaigns, offering exclusive events, trying to butter up loyal customers before they walk away for good. But trust is a hard thing to win back once it's shattered. And right now, the cracks are showing everywhere. Even hardcore collectors are starting to second-guess their next purchase. Some are unloading their collections quietly before the bubble bursts completely. Others are turning to smaller, independent brands that actually care about real craftsmanship instead of just slapping a label on something. The luxury game as we knew it, it's shaking at the roots. And for the first time, regular buyers, not celebs, not influencers, are the ones driving the conversation. And guess what? Brands are scared. Because once you pull back the curtain, you can't unsee the truth. Now, brands are out here trying to spin the narrative, dropping buzzwords like limited craftsmanship and rare artisan techniques to cover their tracks. They're banking on the fact that most people won't dig deeper, but that trick ain't working like it used to.
Consumers are way smarter now. They're reading the fine print, checking where stuff is really made, and calling out the lies when they see them. TikTokers are doing side-by-side comparisons between real Birkins and $500 dupes, and half the time, you can't even tell the difference unless you're wearing a magnifying glass around your neck.
The new luxury? It's not about flexing a logo anymore. It's about knowing the truth behind what you're buying. It's about owning something that's actually worth your money, not just paying for a name someone else told you was important. Meanwhile, luxury brands are sweating bullets, praying the next viral expose doesn't target them. Every day, another brand gets dragged, another dirty little secret gets exposed, and another customer swears off spending a dime on these overpriced fantasies. The tables are turning, and for once, it's not the brands calling the shots, it's the people. And it's not just bags getting exposed either. Watches, shoes, even exclusive jewelry lines are under the microscope now. People are tearing apart every corner of the luxury world. And what they're finding, it ain't pretty. Behind the polished storefronts and glossy ads, it's all the same hustle. Mass production dressed up in fairy tales. Brands selling you heritage and legacy, when behind the scenes, it's just factories running on overdrive, stamping out products for pennies on the dollar. And while they charge you 5 figures for a bag or a watch, they're paying their factory workers scraps. That's the part they don't want you to know. That's the dirty little secret they're fighting to keep buried. But the internet's not letting it slide anymore. Every viral post, every leaked contract, every insider whistleblower, it's adding up. It's cutting through the marketing smoke. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. This whole luxury fantasy, it's crashing down fast, and the brands who built their empires on smoke and mirrors are about to feel the heat like never before. Now the luxury world's at a crossroads. Either they come clean and rebuild their image from scratch, or they keep playing the same tired game and watch the empire crumble piece by piece. Some brands are already trying damage control, quietly moving production back to Europe, hyping up new, authentic craftsmanship campaigns, begging for loyalty. But it's too little, too late for a lot of buyers who already feel duped. Meanwhile, smart consumers are shifting their money toward real artisans, small businesses that actually handcraft their products without all the smoke and mirrors. They're looking for honesty, not hype. Skill, not just a shiny logo. The power balance is changing fast. And for once, the brands don't hold all the cards. The customers do. People are demanding receipts, proof, and real value for their money. And if a brand can't deliver, they're getting dragged straight into the dirt. What's happening now isn't just a scandal, it's a full-blown wake-up call. And the so-called kings and queens of luxury better start listening. Or they're gonna find themselves sitting on thrones made of dust. You're out here dropping a whole month's rent on a bag, all for a label stitched into something made in China, hyped up by celebs who didn't even pay for it. So ask yourself real quick, are you buying true quality or just chasing an illusion? And now things are taking an even wilder turn, because Hermès isn't just panicking behind the scenes anymore. They're going full-blown legal warfare mode. Yup, the brand is allegedly launching a legal attack on multiple Chinese manufacturers, the same ones that exposed their secrets. And this ain't just one or two lawsuits. Reports say Hermès is coming for several factories, trying to shut them down with claims like defamation and misuse of intellectual property. But let's be honest, this isn't about IP. This is about getting exposed. They're furious that the truth slipped out, and now they're using lawsuits like duct tape to try and seal the cracks. And the timing couldn't be worse for them. Ever since the US clapped back with those heavy tariffs on Chinese imports, global brands have been getting forced to show their real supply chains. And now, Hermès is sweating hard, because when your French luxury is actually coming out of factories in Shenzhen and not Parisian ateliers, you're sitting on a ticking time bomb. This whole expose didn't just call out one brand, it cracked open the entire luxury game. Because let's be real, luxury today ain't about true quality anymore. It's about perception. It's all smoke and mirrors. And once that illusion starts to shatter, the whole empire starts shaking. Hermès isn't just trying to save face. They're straight up fighting for survival. If the truth about where these bags are really made keeps spreading, people won't just question Hermès. They'll start looking sideways at every brand. Louis Vuitton, Prada, Chanel, all of them. And that terrifying moment when Made in France loses its sparkle, that's the moment the whole luxury game loses its grip. That's when the gloss fades and the truth hits hard. So what's Hermès doing now? They're scrambling, pointing fingers, firing off lawsuits, and trying to muzzle the factories that spilled the truth. But guess what? It might be too late. Because the genie is out of the Birkin-shaped bottle, baby. And the internet, it never forgets. So now that you know what's really going down, are you still gonna drop $20,000 on a bag that may have been made in the same building as your Amazon packages? Or one that looks suspiciously like something straight off DH-gate? The choice is yours. But the illusion? It's broken. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tea. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.